An American named Otto Warmbier, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, I apologize, traveled to North Korea. Why? Why would anybody travel? It's not a good idea, man. Just don't. If you're considering it, don't do it. But he was captured by the North Korean government. They say, oh, he tore down a banner. What? I don't know if that's true, but even if it is true, is that really a crime worthy of locking somebody up? I mean, this is what Erdogan does. Somebody tore down an Erdogan poster, and he locked him up. It was a kid. He's like, yeah, I don't care. I'll lock him up. Ugh. So, they kept him for a while. He was released recently back to the U.S., but he was in a coma when he got back. Everybody's like, what the fuck's going on? He's in a coma. And then he died. So, as a result of this, people on the far right, their hair's on fire and they're going too far. So now we turn it over to Fox News, where Eric Bolling and his panel discuss this issue, and look at what Bolling's solution is.
Think about this for 1 second. Right now, the North Koreans keep testing these intercontinental ballistic missiles. If they do go ahead and figure out a way to put a warhead on top of one of their longest range missile, 30 minutes is the lead time between firing that missile in North Korea and Los Angeles. Now, are you willing to risk Los Angeles? Or do you, I don't know, Kat, look, you and I are on the same page on a lot of these things when the U.S. isn't directly affected, but now U.S. is being directly affected by this North Korean crazy dictator. It may be time for a preemptive strike.
By the way, he goes on to argue that even more fervently, because he gets pushback from the lady there with the blonde hair, forgive me, I don't know her name, and then also from the lady with the black hair, who, by the way, was a professor of mine. Isn't that funny? She was a political science professor of mine. And she's playing the role of liberal here on the Fox News panel, along with the other lady as well. And she holds her own and she pushes back. She's not buying Eric Bolling's bullshit. But look at what he just floated. And he goes on to double down and argue more fervently for it. And set up he gives the scenario of like, oh, I guess you want to lose Los Angeles, huh? That's what you want to do? You want to lose Los Angeles? You're willing to risk our people here? Is that what you're willing to do? We got to stop them before they come after us. In other words, the same kind of bullshit arguments used against Saddam Hussein. Now, in North Korea, absolute lunatic, crazy person. I've seen the propaganda about him that they push out. The country stuck 100 years ago. It's like going into a time warp. And he's unstable. I agree with all that stuff. But here's the deal. He ain't gonna come after the U.S. if you don't go after him. There's not an imminent threat of a North Korean nuke, or North Korean anything, hitting the U.S., nor do they even have the capability yet to do it, to be clear. Unless we go after them. But no, this classic far-right lunacy on these issues. Imagine the worst-case scenario that you just made up in your own mind and then assume that's what's going to happen, we got to attack. And he actually says it too, preemptive strike. Did we not learn our lesson with Iraq? Did we not learn our lesson? $7 trillion later, at least 200,000 civilians dead in that country. Broken region. ISIS rose out of the power vacuum. Did we not learn our... And he's totally just dense to the concerns of civilian casualties. He's talking about a preemptive strike on them. And he even goes on to bring it up. But to bring it up is to be like, it happens. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? There are going to be some civilian casualties. What are you going to do? Talking about them. Like, okay, so we kill their civilians. Well, what are you going to do? We got... Dude, and not only that, if you were to do a preemptive attack on North Korea, they immediately launch against Seoul, South Korea, you giant moron. If you launch against North Korea, they immediately launch against Seoul, South Korea. It's not a question. That's what happens. That's what it is. You do something to them, they destroy Seoul. they're so, like, nonchalant about offensive war. Do they not, like, you are the bad guy, Eric. Do you not get that? Like, do you not understand that? If somebody's for preemptive war, that means they're for offensive violence. If you're for offensive violence, guess what? That puts you in league with a lot of really, really bad people and bad groups, including outright terrorist groups. In fact, that's the definition of terrorism. You're going to do offensive violence and kill civilians for a political reason. What do you think that is, Eric? That's the definition of terrorism. But in his mind, because he's an idiot who's drunk too much, U.S. propaganda Kool-Aid, he thinks, well, we're the good guys no matter what. So we kill civilians in North Korea and they kill civilians in South Korea, all because I decided I want to be Mr. G.I. Joe and press the fucking button. And we destroyed the world. But aren't I so macho and strong? No, you're an insecure little prick is what you are. With the intelligence of a gnat, and you belong nowhere near power. And by the way, there's rumors now floating about how Eric Bolling wants to run for office. Make it stop. Make it stop. It's just so casual. And by the way, we have no clue what happened with this guy. We don't know. We don't know. Is it possible they tortured him and then, he was in a coma as a result of that and then he died? Yes. Is it possible he's in a coma because he's in a coma? The guy had giant issues, mental issues, health issues before he went. So we don't know what the fuck happened. We don't know. We have no idea what happened. He doesn't care. Isn't it time? Isn't it time now to start an international crisis and another preemptive war? Another war over this. I keep getting the computer noise. Maybe we should wrap up our 7 other interventions first, Eric. Just a thought. Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Pakistan, Yemen, Somalia, Libya. Maybe we should wrap those bad boys up first. How about that? How about we do a new rule, 1 war at a time? But in establishment circles, that's fucking blasphemy. You're not allowed to even have that opinion. They'll laugh you out of the room. Please, every respectable empire has at least 4 wars going on again at the same time. Pass me my monocle. He loves to think he's like anti-elitist and anti-establishment, but he's the deepest establishment insider, elite ass I've ever seen in my life. So, this is Fox News for you. Let's advocate. We're talking about preemptive war on a country that didn't attack us. Just casually. Yeah, maybe we do that. Maybe we should spend our time and our resources, I don't know, here, changing our infrastructure, which gets a grade of D+, and making it an A+. Maybe that. Maybe we should have universal health care and catch up to every other modern nation on the planet. 45,000 people die every year because they don't have access to basic health care in the U.S. Maybe we should fix that. Maybe we should fix the fact that medical bills are a top cause of bankruptcy. Maybe we should have free college and address this student loan debt crisis we have. Just maybe those are things we need to do. No. According to G.I. Joe Bowling here, his answer is always, maybe we attack them. Maybe if we smash it with a hammer, I'm sure it'll get better and civilians will die, but that's okay. I'm fine with that as long as it's not me and my family. I'm Eric Bowling. What a douchebag.